What's going on, guys? It's Aiden with Upper James Toyota, and today we put together a little compilation of our favorite SUVs for 2024. Please do not forget to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss any more of our future Toyota related content. Hope you guys enjoy, and we'll check you guys out in the next video. Nissan's got a Rogue, Honda's got a CR-V, and we've got a RAV4. My name is Aiden with Upper James Toyota, and today I'm going to be taking a deep dive look into a fully loaded RAV4 Limited to see if it's worth the dollar. All right, so let's take a close-up look onto a 2024 RAV4 Limited. Now, this being a fully loaded RAV4, I want to answer the question, is it worth the dollar compared to other competitors on the current market right now for a full-sized 5-passenger SUV? Now, looking at the front end of a RAV4 Limited, it will look a little bit different than the other trim levels you can also get in a RAV4. We're going to start on the front grille. It's got this interesting chrome bezeled silver or gunmetal polished front grille, which is only on this kind or this trim level of a RAV4. Put that up with your nice LED projector headlamps and LED fog lights. Now, those are on some different trim levels as well, but on this one, you're going to be getting every single last feature possible on a RAV. Now, one on the front end that you will not be getting in the other models are going to be down below. You're going to be getting these little dots here on both ends of your front bumper, and those are for your front parking sensors. This is the only RAV that comes with front parking sensors. So if that's something you're looking for, if you're driving into the city, or you just want that for everyday peace of mind, maybe this trim level is worth it for you. Now, taking a closer look onto the side profile of a 24 RAV4 Limited, one thing you're going to be noting, you'll be getting standard from the factory 19-inch alloys. Now, they will be finished in full silver. And if you saw one of my previous videos comparing the new Camry to an IS300, I will tell you that for my personal liking, I'm not a fan of a full silver rim. I would like it to be more gunmetal or maybe even black, which the gunmetal is offered on a hybrid version of a Limited RAV. And if you're gonna give me those two options, I will be taking those rims instead of these ones, but that's just for the color. The actual look and layout of the wheel, I actually think looks pretty good on this vehicle. You guys can let me know down below in the comments. Now, looking onto the side profile of this specific RAV we have here now, this does have included from the factory body side moldings, which is typically an additional fee you would be paying as a Toyota genuine accessory. All this basically does is when you're opening your door, instead of a door damaging, if it ever hit this door, the full panel, it would only be dinging this small little line or this strip of plastic, which you can peel off and it color matches your paint. And in this case, color is going to be featured as Blueprint, which is our dark metallic blue, which I think is one of my favorite colors we offer in our lineup. Not too sure if you guys have seen the color in person, but it definitely lightens up in the sunshine and gets a little bit darker in the nighttime, so I'm a huge fan of it. Okay, so if you're looking onto the door handles for the side profile of a RAV4, this is one thing that's different on this vehicle versus the other trim levels that we offer, is that all of them are coming with this silver chrome piece along all 4 door handles. What this basically means is that with the key in your hand or in your pocket, in your purse or in a bag, you can basically lock and unlock the vehicle from any door handle. So it's got all 4 door handles as a smart key access system, making it very, very easy for you and your family to jump in and out. Hey guys, I know you guys are enjoying the video, but please do not forget to like and subscribe so we can become the #1 Toyota YouTube channel on earth. Now, taking a closer look onto the rear of the Limited RAV4, another way you can actually tell this is a Limited versus any other model is that this little silver strip is going to be standard on any color that you get. So the only color that it really blends in for is going to be silver. Everything else, it's still going to have this little accent on the rear. I'm not really too sure why they did that. It's just a small thing Toyota has done. And then the obvious one you could look at is that in the bottom right corner, it'll be saying Limited all-wheel drive, because all the new RAVs that are gas come standard as all-wheel drive. Now, this is the only thing on the back that is not going to be genuine from the factory. It is going to be an accessory we have added from Toyota, which is blacked out badging. So they basically took your RAV4 emblems, your Toyota emblem, Limited, and the all-wheel drive logo, made it from chrome into a matte black, which I actually think looks pretty cool. You can't really tell the big difference on this only because it's a dark vehicle, but if you put this on, say, a silver, a red, or a white, obviously it would pop a little bit more. Now, getting into the trunk, super simple. You push the button, the trunk will come up for you very, very simply. Now, into the back of the vehicle, one thing you'll be noting, and I'll be showing you more on the inside, is that here's your JBL subwoofer in the rear. This is the only RAV4 that comes comes standard with JBLs, which sound phenomenal in my opinion. And if you're someone who likes to listen to music, it doesn't even have to be loud music, but just a nice bassy, clear tones for the radio, any songs you're playing, any podcast, this could be the trim level you're looking for to achieve that nice audio system. Now, into the trunk, a couple things that are standard from the factory, which some people do not know. On a limited RAV, a cargo liner is standard, as well as your tunnel cover or your privacy cover, which just retracts like this and goes back very, very simply, as well as this little bag right here. It's not out right now, but it's a cargo net. So basically all that does, it clips into these little clips, which you can see 2 on the back, which are just silver or chrome. And what that basically does, it provides a little net in the trunk that has an elastic. So if you throw any groceries, stuff you don't want to be, swinging around as you're driving, you can throw stuff in there, which is very, very convenient. And the last feature that I love on this vehicle, and it's only offered on this trim level for a gas RAV4, is going to be your automatic tailgate with the kick sensor. So a couple other models have that, like our Sienna, for example, and some of our other larger SUVs. However, this one does have it. So it's very convenient. If your hands are full, you can basically walk up to the trunk of the vehicle. You kind of see where your license plate should be on your trunk. And on the right-hand side of this, all you do is you put your foot in, pull it out, and then your trunk will close down automatically for you. Once this is closed, because all doors are keyless, you can walk up, put your hand on it, lock it, and then jump inside. Okay guys, now taking a closer step onto the inside of a 24 Limited RAV. Now this one is spec'd out in black. You can also option this in a few different color options as an interior color. And if you have one of those, let me know why and which color you guys chose over the standard black. Now, for myself, I can tell right by looking at the inside of this vehicle that this is a Limited, and I can tell you a couple small things to kind of distinguish this versus any other RAV that we have in our lineup that is a gas model. Number one is going to be this dark brown cutout around your cup holders, wireless charger, and your storage compartments on the passenger, and then I have a small one on the driver's side as well. That's only offered on a Limited RAV. Not really too sure why. The other RAV, we offer a different trim, I guess you could say, for these compartments would be a Trail Edition, and that comes as an orange trim, which is just a small little thing to note if you didn't know that. So that's the only thing offered for the Limited. And then the other big obvious one for me is going to be this massive screen, which is only offered on a Limited. So it's a 12.3 touch display with wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and Sirius XM, and it's very, very responsive. They updated screens in the RAV back in 23. So if you received a 23, you would have gotten the new screens with the new backup camera and the new tech that the new screens offer basically on most of our vehicles, which is a nice addition to see because the screens definitely needed a redesign and a refresh. Now, the other big one for me is going to be my MID display in front of the driver, which is going to be fully digital, and it is no more needles. So I like the look of this. I've touched on this before in different videos I have done, talking about getting away from the old school needle look. I think the one screen, all digital, makes the car look a little bit more, refreshed and also very, very new into, the current day of technology. Now, a couple cool things standard on this vehicle that you do not get out of any other RAVs. You're getting cooled seats, which is also standard on this package, as well as heated seats, a full heated steering wheel, auto lights, auto wipers, auto rear wiper. You'll be getting heated rear seats, which is the only RAV that offers that feature as well. Now, a couple things looking at just convenience features wise in this vehicle. I won't just touch upon what's exclusive to a Limited RAV. I'll just talk about the other features you will be getting in this vehicle. So I'm going to start with an 8-way power driver seat and a passenger seat, which is nice to have. Now the driver seat will have 2 memory options as well, which are right here. So you can have 2 drivers set up. If I was driving versus say my girlfriend driving the vehicle, I'm going to come in at being much taller than she is. So obviously I would have my seat one way, she could have her seat the other way. So it's definitely nice convenience wise that instead of readjusting and kind of delaying your trip to kind of get going, it will obviously adjust the seat where I put it from the first place, which I love. Now, another cool feature that a lot of people don't know a whole lot about is going to be up here. Now, it's just obviously at first glance, this is just looking into your rear window and it's just your rear camera. Now, The rear camera actually happens when you flip this towards you, and this actually shows a stagnant mounted camera on the rear glass of the trunk. Now what this does is I can move this around, I can show around, and it doesn't change anything. And what that's gonna do is basically if you have any tall people in the rear, any boxes in the trunk that you can't see out of, or maybe it's just really foggy on the rear glass and you can't get it to kind of go away, you could use this option. And it is very, very clear. So clear that if you're driving and you can see through this, you can actually read license plates of cars behind you. So I think it's one of those kind of cool features. You can get this added on to any other RAV that you wanted to, but on a Limited, it actually comes standard. So if it's something you're kind of looking for on a Limited, you don't have to pay anything extra. And I think it's around the $600 mark, somewhere like that. You guys can correct me in the comments if I'm off a little bit there, but that's typically what one of these will run you, adding it on to any other RAV4. So I think kind of having that standard feature kind of gives obviously use to the vehicle, as well as having 3 garage doors. You can also pair this up with as well, just in case you have, you're parking underground, or you do have say a 3-car garage or a 2-car garage. You can always add this on to get into your house very, very simply. Now, those are all the cool things on the front of the vehicle. I'm going to take a step onto the back, see how comfortable that is, and see how that works out for you. All right, now jumping into the rear of a RAV4. So again, I left my seat where I was, and I'm very, very comfortable. I've done a Rogue versus a RAV4 comparison video, and obviously I still sit very, very comfortably in this one. Now, looking onto the rear of this RAV, the Limited name and the trim level of that is really featured for convenience features on the outside, and obviously some features on the front of the vehicle. In the rear, there's only one feature that you basically get that's different, and it's on the side here, and those are gonna be your heated rear seats. You push this in, turns orange. That means that this full seat is going to be heated, as well as your other passenger sitting to the next. I actually think it's a pretty cool feature to have. I know that a lot of manufacturers are going that route because a vehicle like this is typically going to be, a family car. You're going to put your kids in the back of it, and you're going to have other passengers. That's why you buy a vehicle that has space. So I think that come the winter times, because having leather, obviously the one downside to leather is that it gets super hot in the summertime, super cold in the winter time. So it's nice to kind of have all the seats be nice and toasty, just in case it is a chilly, December day. But other than that, there's really nothing else to point out that's different. You have your regular cup holders that fold down here. I'm sitting on the 40 side of the seat. This is the 60 side, so you can fold this all the way down, which I can do now for you. This just folds down to obviously put anything from the trunk into the rear of the RAV. And even with this down, I'm still fine to sit back here. I'm not necessarily crammed. Got a couple USB ports down there too, so I can charge up my phone or any devices that I have. So if you threw me in the back of a RAV, I'm more than happy to sit back here. They're pretty comfortable, and it'd be obviously a great choice for you and your family as your next car. All right, guys, let's talk some numbers for a 24 RAV4 Limited. Now, this is going to be powered by a 2.5 4-cylinder that's going to be making about 203 horsepower and about 184 pound-feet of torque. Now, all of that is going to be going through an 8-speed automatic gearbox, and this is all-wheel drive. So you'll be averaging about 8.4 liters per 100 on this vehicle, which actually isn't too bad looking at the size and the size of the tires on this vehicle. Behind me is going to be the best of both worlds if you do not know if you want a sedan or an SUV. Behind me is a 2025 Toyota Crown Platinum Max. There's 2 trim levels. This is the higher end version. Now on this vehicle, you're getting a 2.4 4-cylinder paired with a hybrid max system. It's going to be making about 340 horsepower, 400 pound-feet of torque. We're going to be looking on the outside, the inside, seeing what this vehicle has to offer. We're going to take a closer look and see how this vehicle will fit for you. Okay, so a quick little intro onto the Toyota Crown. You don't see them on the road too often, and that's because they were first released in 1955. It was one of Toyota's first kind of mix of a sedan slash a Camry slash a crossover, and then they brought it back for 2023 and have continued it ever since. Now, this is basically a direct comparison to a Camry. Now, Camry's gonna be a bit smaller and sitting a bit lower. So going up to a Crown, you'll be getting about a 7-inch increase in height. So if you're looking for a car car that's easy to kind of shuffle into and shuffle out to, this could be a very, very good fit for you or any passengers that you'll be carrying with you. Now, taking a look onto the front end, it's featured in a new color called Heavy Metal. So it's gonna have a couple interesting inserts of black. You'll see that on the side, you'll see that on the roof as well, but they come in a very interesting two-tone configuration, either in like a white, a red, heavy metal, which is like a gray, a dark gray, or even like a bronze color too. So they've kind of catered to some interesting colors onto an interesting vehicle that you don't see too often. Now, styling wise, I think they've done an excellent job. I love the front end. I love the front end headlights. I like the larger front grille. It kind of gives a more futuristic vibe while still being obviously a very, very reliable Toyota, which a lot of people want. Now, taking a look onto the side profile of a Crown. If you look at one big thing, you'll look down at these wheels and you'll be like, wow, those are pretty large, and that's the case. You're getting 21-inch alloy wheels. They're gonna be partnered up with mainly black, a little bit of silver inserts as well, which look good on any color. Now, upgrading to a Platinum Max, obviously you're getting a couple features you typically would not be getting on a Limited. One that being is on the actual rear of the vehicle, you have rear steering, which is very interesting. It's a new thing for Toyota as well to be including that on a vehicle, but I think it's a really smart idea. A lot of other manufacturers are going that route, and obviously it's gonna be giving you more control over the road and keeping you and your family safe in this vehicle. All right, now looking at the rear of a Crown, a couple things to note. It's interesting because it's more of a sedan crossover, kind of like a hatchback almost in a sense, because the rear kind of opens up, towards the sky, which is interesting from a vehicle looking like this. It's kind of giving the same comparison, completely different classes, like a Porsche Panamera, for example, the sloped back that kind of arches into the trunk. But I think the styling is actually really cool. Now, it's not catered to everyone, but someone like myself, I'm definitely a big fan of it. I like how across the back, you're seeing Crown written in big, and in the bottom left corner, you're seeing Hybrid Max, letting everyone know you are in the highest end version of a Crown that you can get. Now, looking at trunk space onto a Toyota Crown, you put your hand down here, you'll feel a little button, push that in, the trunk will open up very easily for you. Now, looking into the trunk space onto the Crown, you actually have quite a lot of it. You can store a lot of great things in here. You don't need a huge SUV to obviously get some things done for you and your family. So if this works for you, come take a peek at it. They are very cool, and arguably I would say our softest riding vehicle now that we offer from Toyota. So that's another cool little thing, and someone who's definitely looking for something that's a little bit more luxurious feeling without breaking the budget, this could definitely be a vehicle catered for you. Okay guys, so jumping into the interior of a Crown. So a couple things definitely to note. If you just saw a video that we'll be posting shortly as well, I did a Platinum Hybrid Max for the Grand Highlander, and they kind of follow the same suit with the Platinum trim. So you kind of have all the gold on the inside, on the shift knob, center console, on the dash, even on your volume knob up here, which I actually think is a really cool addition. I like how it's up here and it's kind of centered away from all of your climate controls on the vehicle. Now, this being a Platinum, I'm going to compare this exactly as the interior to the Grand Highlander Platinum, and I will notice the one thing is that there is no suede or Alcantara inserts on the seats. It's all leather, still have the gold stitching, still have the gold little rest up here, which I think is a really cool little feature they've added into this specific vehicle. Now, being in here, getting in and out of it, it's very easy. It's no step up, it's no step down. I really do like this. If you wanted a vehicle a bit higher up without going to an SUV, definitely consider the Crown. Now, this being fully loaded, getting JBL sound system, cooled seats, heated seats, all the features galore, Toyota's brand new and newest safety sense features with traffic jam assist, lane trace assist. There's a lot of great things catered, not only features wise, but also safety wise too. Now, again, my biggest thing in a vehicle is I love a panoramic moonroof, and this one has it. Now, it does have a bar in the middle here, so it's not full glass above you. However, I still love how much it opens up the interior. One cool thing I do like about this vehicle, which is not offered on a whole lot of ours, down here, I have my phone right now wirelessly charging, and I like how it's vertical. There's actually inserts in it that won't obviously let your phone tip or let the phone slide if it's horizontal. So I think that's a great addition that Toyota has made onto the interior of this car. And my favorite feature in this one is actually gonna be your center console. So if you press the button on the passenger side, it opens to them. but if I open it on my side, it opens up to me. So you've seen some other consoles that maybe only go up, or they're only one way and you have to reach over, or whatever the case may be. But I like how they've kind of added like a 2-for-1 on this. It's a very interesting feature that they have decided to put on this vehicle, and one that I think a lot of customers would really like and benefit from in this car. All right, now let's take a closer look onto the rear seats of a 2025 Toyota Crown. Okay, taking a step into the rear of the Crown. So a couple things to note. I left my seat where it was just like normal. I've got enough room. I probably could have moved up a little bit, but I'm still comfortable back here. It's very, very spacious in a vehicle like this. And personally, I would be taking this over the closest competitor, which is a Camry. So I like how a couple things they've added onto the vehicle. JBL sound system, you have that onto the door inserts here. I like how there's rear heated seats, no cooled seats, just heated, but I'm more than fine with that. A couple vents, couple USB-C lightning ports as well. Obviously keep your things nice and charged up. If you pull down your center console down here, you've got 2 nice cup holders that will pop out, as well as 1 in each of the door. So you can be assured that anyone sitting in the rear of your Crown will be definitely more than comfortable. So on a vehicle at this size with the performance that it has, you're actually still gonna be averaging some pretty good numbers on the fuel economy side. Toyota rates this at 8.1 liters combined. However, I do have a couple clients in a Crown right now, and they are into the low 7s. Obviously depending kind of what driving you do, mainly city, mainly highway, and obviously when the hybrid system is kicking in the most, which is actually pretty good for a vehicle at this size. So on the right of me, we've got a 2023 Highlander XLE. This is a gas model, which is an 8-passenger, versus the 2024 XLE Grand Highlander Hybrid. We're gonna take a closer look at the two of them, see which one's better for you. We'll go take a peek at them. So we're gonna start with the 2023 Highlander XLE. So again, this is a gas model. We're just mainly comparing the 2 size differences between the 2 vehicles today. Looking at the front of the vehicle, they're both gonna have a very, very similar look to them. The Grand Highlander is gonna be a little bit more boxy, but on this Highlander, the big difference between the 2 of them, you will be getting LED fog lamps on this package, compared to this model over here that's gonna have the LED headlamps on it with no fog lights on this package. So let's take a closer peek at the sides of both the Highlander and the Grand Highlander Hybrid over here. So looking at the wheels, both of them are gonna come with 18-inch alloys. Now on the Grand right now, we do have winter tires on it. So these are aftermarket rims, but they are still 18 inches, and in black, they look really, really good to match the vehicle. Looking at both of them side by side, the Grand is gonna be a little bit higher up than your regular Highlander. It's also gonna be a little bit longer, which we'll get into further in the video when we're looking at the inside of the vehicle. The big comparison between the 2 of them is going to be the 3rd row. So on the Grand, the 3rd row is going to be adult size. So someone at my height, being 6'2", I can fit into the 3rd row, versus the regular Highlander, I cannot fit into the 3rd row. So if you're going to be having 8 people in your vehicle, preferably smaller children into the back of them using the 3rd row, both of them are going to be great options. However, if you're going to be primarily using an 8-passenger vehicle holding people maybe a little bit taller, maybe a little bit grown up, the Grand Highlander will be the vehicle for you. Now taking a look at the rear of the 2024 Grand Highlander, I'm gonna open up the trunk for you, which does open up with the push of the button. You're gonna notice one cool thing into the 2024 Grand Highlanders. The trunk actually opens a little bit quicker than the outgoing Highlander. A little quirky little feature on that. Now looking inside of the 2024 Grand Highlander, you do have the accessory of a 3rd row, which is really, really great. If you're gonna have 8 people in the vehicle, you have that 3rd row there. But if you also aren't gonna have 8 people and you wanna fit in a stroller, a big Costco run, a few sets of golf clubs, suitcases, whatever that may be, you can simply fold these seats down in the 3rd row, and you're gonna add quite a bit of storage space into the back of the vehicle. Now, not only do these seats fold, but the 2nd row will also fold. So if you're gonna put any pieces of wood, plywood, you're doing some stuff around the house, a new appliance, that can fit in here with ease. Okay, let's look into the back of the 2023 Highlander. So comparing the 2, this one is going to be the smaller one, and as you can tell, the liftgate's still going up. This one's definitely opening a bit slower than the Grand Highlander. You will notice with the 3rd row up, space is very limited on this vehicle. So you can fold down the 3rd row just like the Grand. However, they've kind of eliminated that you can fold it down to actually throw stuff in the vehicle. offering the Grand Highlander now with the added space inside the vehicle. So you're still gonna have the same capabilities of the Grand Highlander. You could throw in anything you really need into this large SUV. However, space-wise, I'm taking the Grand between the two of them. Okay, so let's take a peek onto the interior of the 2024 Grand Highlander. So I know this one's a hybrid versus the gas model. I'm just here to talk about the space out of the two of them, okay? So for being a taller guy, I like this vehicle. This is definitely my size. I've got a good amount of headroom here. I've got a nice wide body of the vehicle as well. I've got enough space over the passenger as well that I feel spacious on my side. Both these packages are going to be very, very similar. They're both an XLE, so this is an entry level onto the Grand Highlander. It's gonna come with a lot of great standard features. You're gonna have your 7-inch multimedia display, driver's side focused in front of you, another 12.3-inch display centered in the middle with your wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, dual zone climate control, heated seats are standard, a heated steering wheel is also standard. Fun fact in the vehicle, you're gonna find 13 cup holders and 7 USB-C ports in the vehicle as well. So if you have a big family, long road trip, you wanna put some stuff in the cup holders to drink, this could be a very, very good family car for you. All right, now looking into the rear or the second row of the Grand Highlander. So again, I'm a tall guy. This is phenomenal for me. I can fit in any 3 rows and I'm just as comfortable. Obviously the driver's seat is gonna be a little bit more comfortable than the other 3, which is standard on basically any vehicle that you're in. However, I'm a big guy and this row is perfect for me. Same with the third, which we'll look at afterwards as well. Again, onto the middle row here, you're gonna have 2 USB-C ports for charging for anything you need, so your kids cannot complain about a dead iPad or a phone. You're gonna have a climate control here for your rear passengers as well. So in the front, you don't have to control what the climate's doing in the back, which is great for your passengers. I'm really comfy here. I really can't complain. I think this is probably our favorite vehicle and my personal favorite vehicle that we have added into the lineup for 2024. This vehicle is also here for test drive. So I encourage anyone to come down, give us a call. My direct line will be down below. Give us a shout and you can come in, drive the vehicle and see the spacing for yourself. And I'm gonna jump into third row and actually show you how much space this vehicle has. Okay, so getting into the third row, very, very simple. You lift this little hatch here, seat's gonna slide forward. I can jump on in. So now sitting into the third row, I can pull the second row, which is gonna slide forward, pull it back, that's gonna lock. And I'm pretty comfy back here. Next to me, I've got a charging port on either side of me. So any small kids in the back, charge up your stuff. I've got 2 cup holders on either side, a little storage compartment as well. Getting in and out is very, very easy into the third row. It's a simple flip of the switch, push the seats forward, and you can walk on out. Okay, so let's look onto the interior of a 2023 Highlander XLE. So it's very, very similar to the Grand. It's definitely not as spacious. So obviously the Grand is much bigger than this vehicle. All the features are very, very similar. The only difference, which you could probably see, is the sunroof. So on this package, you will get a sunroof. You have to upgrade to a Limited on a Grand to get a sunroof. Now, features wise, it's very, very similar. You're gonna have a 7-inch multimedia display in front of you as the driver. So on this package, you are gonna get the 8-inch screen, which is a little bit of a downgrade from the Grand. You're gonna get the 12.3 on that one. It's very, very similar size-wise on the vehicle, how many people you can carry. It's more so cargo space and how comfortable you can be inside the vehicle. So for my personal preference, I don't need 8 seats as of yet. When I do go to an 8-seater, I will be getting a Grand. I will not be getting a regular Highlander, but value for money, I'm gonna think most people will go to a Grand Highlander. And if you're gonna compare the hybrid model versus the gas model, or honestly, they're both gonna get very, very good fuel efficiency in either of them. So for me, I'm gonna be choosing the Grand out of both. Okay, taking a step into the second row of the regular Highlander. Now, I'm definitely more crammed in this one. Headroom, I'm just on the top there. Again, that's the reason why I'm gonna pick the Grand over the regular Highlander. However, if you've got a smaller family, smaller kids who are just growing up, this could be a very, very good vehicle for you. Looking at the third row is where the big difference between the two vehicles are gonna come into play. I'm gonna get into the third row, kind of show you how to get in, which is very similar to the Grand, but the space is gonna be the main difference of why you're gonna choose the regular Highlander or the Grand Highlander. So I'm gonna take a jump into the third row of the Highlander. It's gonna be a bit more of a process for me, just because it's not really adult size. So I'm gonna scooch over to this side, bring this forward, and I will show you with this row up, I am very, very tight back here. So if you've got a smaller family, it's a lot better to maybe pick this Highlander versus a Grand, but to have the extra space. And that's the big difference between the two of these vehicles. Going to the Grand versus this one, you're gonna get about an additional 6.5 inches onto the length of the vehicle. And where they added that the most is going to be into the third row. So right here, I could maybe do a 5-minute car ride like this. Other than that, I'm not gonna be enjoying my ride in the Highlander. So if you are gonna be having larger people, taller people into the third row, I'm going to tell you, please pick a Grand. You can come here, test them both out, and I think you will both agree with me that the Grand Highlander will probably be the better choice out of the two. Okay guys, so we've taken a peek on the inside and the outside of both the regular Highlander versus the Grand. Now a 2023 XLE is gonna come in at about $48,350 is the MSRP on one. Again, this is here for test drive, so please come by and drive it. On this vehicle as well, for the 2023 year, they changed from the old 3.5 V6 to the 2.4 liter turbo 4-cylinder. So with a smaller engine, you do get better fuel efficiency. So on this vehicle, you can expect to average combined about 10.3 liters per 100, which is actually a very, very good fuel efficiency for a vehicle at this size. Now, compared to the 2024 Grand Highlander Hybrid, now being a hybrid, it will have better fuel efficiency. And in this one, a 2.5 4-cylinder combined, you're gonna get about 7 liters per 100. So I understand sizing is very, very similar. Compare this to a gas model, it's still very, very good fuel efficiency, but obviously being the hybrid, you are gonna get a little bit better than the regular XLE gas model over here. Now, this vehicle is also here for test drive. So both of them side by side. Please come in if you're looking for a larger SUV, 7 to 8 passengers. You can configure both of them either way. You want to drive both of them, see the size difference of the two to kind of nail down what's going to be better for your needs. Okay guys, thanks so much for watching the video between the regular Highlander versus the Grand Highlander Hybrid. Again, both the vehicles are here for test drive. So come on down, come take them out for a drive, see how the spacing works for you. And please do not forget to subscribe to Upper James Toyota. We're gonna be posting every week any new Toyota news and content videos. So please don't miss those, and we'll see you in the next one.